Your natural body shape or your surgery body shape will change the type of man that is attracted to you, at least based on his socioeconomic level. And let me show you. Socioeconomic class actually have to do with the type of man that is attracted to your body and why. Let's figure it out. You have the wealthy class, right? And they typically tend to be attracted to more slender bodies, a physique, a nicer physique, right? The reason they like that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of their reputation is on the line. Who they're married to, how that person is moving, how that significant other is, how outside people view them. Everything comes with reputation when it comes to being that wealthy, okay? So essentially, they understand the power more of who their significant other is and how they represent them. Literally. Then of course we get to the biological factors, like a woman with a nice physique and she's skinny. You can actually see the structuring of that, the natural way her body would fall in clothes, etc., right? And it also signals youth to men. We hear it preached all day, every damn day, right? And actually this one's gonna be hard to accept because when you have a more voluptuous body, it's more overtly sexual, okay? So basically the man doesn't really get the privilege of like the classy look, or like you act this way publicly but he knows you're in a different way privately. Like that line kind of gets blurred, and it's not anything that somebody who's naturally built like that has like done wrong. It's more so other men can visualize you in a more sexual way a lot easier than they can with somebody that has a petite body, all right? And that's gonna move us over to poor. When it comes to this type of man, you know how there's like being hood rich, right? Let's make it that. So essentially, because this person doesn't have much to show, they're gonna make what they do show gaudy. And so essentially, because that thing is gaudy, it's right in front of your face. You can't ignore it, you can't whatever, right? So essentially that translates to the type of woman that they are attracted to also has more of that upfront in your face, you can't ignore it type of sexuality, all right? Because essentially as they escort you around places, socially, all that other stuff, it's a huge signal to someone else. Look who I am fucking right now. Look who I have access to right now. Display, easy to see. And the last reason that the poor man tends to be attracted to a more voluptuous, overtly sexual body. One, he's not doing much else with his free time when he's outside of work. That's the only way he's making money. That tends to be the only way he's applying himself. So basically with his free time, he's gonna wanna have sex. Bam. Okay. Second reason, the woman is doing very much like
Interesting conversation from this young lady Natalia taught you. And before we get into the rest of the video, guys, she's covering a few things which I can see where she's going with this, but it just depends on what type of man you are. If you're involved in politics, or you're a figurehead, or you're out in the public and going to be seen a lot, you know, making speeches, giving all these different things, and your wife or your significant other is going to be in the limelight, then yes, her appearance does matter. You don't want heavy set, overweight woman, BBL'd up, plastic surgery and all that other stuff. This is true. And this comes in terms of being wealthy, because that automatically, someone who's in office technically would be considered wealthy or upper middle class, for lack of a better term. So you don't see a lot of guys, the CEOs and all these dudes, and this is the ones who are married, because the single dudes, they will go out. You got the Puff Daddies and the Elon Musks, not necessarily married, but they're dealing with the women they want to deal with. And particularly, and Kevin used to talk about this a lot, you want a woman who is thin, who's fit. You want a woman with a nice bust and a nice waist and not the hugest butt on her. Definitely not the BBL. And I don't think it's necessarily a poor thing, because wealthy guys will bust down women with BBLs. You got the majority of strip clubs nowadays. I'm saying there's a mixture of all type of men, but depends on who you are. If you're a wealthy guy, dope boy, if you're a CEO, and you just like that kind of woman, that's what you like. But I wouldn't even go as far as saying they won't take these women seriously, because it is a status thing. When you have some eye candy on your arm, whether you're poor, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a BBL for poor guys, because a woman with a BBL, and I've come across some women who are broke with BBLs, they will deal with a broke guy. But at the end of the day, and then you got poor guys dealing with fat women. So it's just one of those things that's interesting. Middle class, I don't think it really matters. You can say a BBL is a poor thing, but let's finish up with what she's saying. See where she's going with this.
domestic work in the home, right? That's a strong contribution of hers because he can't afford any type of assistance, even when it comes down to like eating out a certain amount, etc. So for her, when he sees her outside of that, there's not much that that woman is expected to offer him as far as like uplifting him or moving into another level. They are in survival mode, literally. I want you to understand that, okay? So because they are in survival mode, the woman basically is offering sex and domestic work to him, okay? So essentially, the more sexual she looks, the more appealing she is to him, because that's one half of basically her value. Middle class, that's kind of like a anything can go type of situation, okay? It's a mixture of enough resources, enough intelligence, and enough ignorance. Essentially for them, they're gonna be choosing a partner based off of what they see in media the most, subconsciously, and what kind of reflects their natural desire, because they don't have too much on the line as far as reputation, but they also have enough resources to care about what person they're getting and how they're reflecting them and stuff like that, but not enough to where they need to be controlling the type of person that they're dating. So at that point, you can just date ideally who you desire. So before you get that BBL, please evaluate, what is this gonna do for me? What is my goal, okay? And I know as women, we be lying to ourselves saying, oh my God, it doesn't matter what men think, blah, 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 blah. But eventually, if you wanna be with somebody, you're gonna have to give a damn what men think, okay?
It's a combination of things as far as the motivation of why a woman gets a BBL. A woman gets a BBL due to her comparing herself with other women, or she's going into a profession, an adult profession, something along those lines, or in customer service where she's going to be on display and men and women are going to desire her. But if she's not in any of those, she's basically just doing it just to compete with other women. It's not for men necessarily. Some women do who aren't that attractive. Some women get the BBL just to feel better about themselves, to boost their confidence. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's for poor people, because if you get with a wealthy man, he might want you, or you may feel like you want to compete with other women that's out there, and you might want to get one of those, or he might want you to get one of those. Because a lot of times it's going to be the wealthy man that's going to be paying for this stuff. A lot of dudes are financing these surgeries. It's not you. So it's just food for thought, just something to think about. Not to really counter what she's saying. It sounded good in terms of all that, but hey, middle class guy, if he's well off, he may care about what a woman looks like. Poor guy, I guess it doesn't matter either way, man. But let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Linktree to book a one-on-one with yours truly. Purchase all my books, merch, t-shirts. Helps to support the channel. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. With that being said, much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next video that's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. I'm out of here. Peace.